Welcome to another episode of Racing to Learn. We are a nonprofit that uses radio control to get kids excited about math and science. We've got our ProLine Pro MT 4x4 1/10 scale monster truck on the bench today.
We've also got our team associated B6 1/10 scale buggy. This is a racing buggy. We're going to go ahead and pillage the Savox SC1258TG Black Edition from this buggy and throw it into this truck. Now this is a pretty powerful servo, so it will suit us just fine. So let me see here. I'm gonna pull off the power switch for the Hobby Wing ESC here. Got some tie wraps around the motor. I'm gonna just move this truck over to the side here so I can get these side by side. You can see the size difference there. But granted, both of these are still 1/10 scale, so you cut these just a little bit of a tip here. You got tie wraps like this, and you cut them in a certain way, you can actually reuse them. Right? I only lost that much of a tie wrap. Just a handy thing there, and save the environment and save yourself some money. Now we bought this with this team associated used, all ready to run here. Looks like some soldering was done on the servo. Probably got it braided, so I'm just going to remove the wire to the servo. Remove this excess double-sided tape that was used to hold the switch on. I can clean that up later, not a huge deal. Grab, and just appreciating the design of the team associated, right? Just the fact that I can access the servo screws up top here. I need to switch over to another bit. Here we go. It's nice that Team Associated switched over to metric a couple years ago. Unfortunately, our SC10.2 or what have you was not one of those models, so it still uses standard screws. Always better, easier to have metric. It's pretty much de facto to standard these days.
It's great being able to access the nut on the back of the servo. Basically you can swap out a servo very quickly and easily on this buggy.
So we're about to hit the BMX track again, and we're just hoping that we don't burn another servo. Alright, and I'm just going to take off the mounts here, and then just leave those along with the buggy. If you're interested in buying this buggy, we're probably going to sell it, so let us know. We haven't used this buggy much over the last, actually at all, since we bought it. I think we brought it racing once at NorCal Hobbies, just realized we like bashing more. So had this posted up as an RTR or roller. Now that we're pillaging the servo, it's more likely that we're going to sell it as a roller. Meaning no electronics. Alright, so let's throw this servo into the Pro MT now. Okay. Oh, actually, I don't think this was not soldered, which is nice. I think that tubing was just to protect the servo from abrasion, which is also very nice because we're just going to move that down a little bit. Or maybe it was resoldered. These wires are usually kind of glued together and they're separate here. So regardless, let's pop this in. You guys can always check out all of our previous videos on this truck. In the video description, we've got the playlist. Again, this is the nice Savox servo that we're going to toss in here. How did this... Did I have the servo put the right way? I don't even remember how I had the servo put in. Yeah. Okay. So, let's do this. We're going to grab the mount for this and just feed the wire through. Alright. I don't even remember how I Yeah, let's see here. I just want to reference the electronics guide. Okay, yeah, so the servo is supposed to point downwards there. Gonna feed the wire through underneath the differential. Actually, we could probably scoot this even more over. Scoot the shrink wrap there. Yeah, I just want to line it up to where it's going to pass underneath the differential. And feed the cable through. The wires. All right. So, oh, I forgot. I need to first attach the servo mount. You've got a, I think it was a 10mm screw with the right drivers here. It's nice that Proline uses these socket head screws so you can use a bigger hex, which keeps those screws, there's a less likelihood of rounding them off. That was a nice touch. Alright, I'll use a power driver just to save some time here. We're running against the clock, which is always exciting. And then I'll finish torquing those by hand, just like you would do in a real car. Alright, and next we'll put the servo back in. Drop it in like so. We've got good clearance there with the wire going under the differential, and then we'll finish. Where did I put that blue driver? There we go, it's under the truck. Alright, put the rest of the screws in. And we'll fire it up just to make sure we don't have any binding. And yeah, just really kind of confused why that other servo gave out. I'm gonna check for, it seems like the steering there's no binding, there's no visible binding there. I should say visible, no binding that we can feel. Alright. Use the driver to speed up the process here and finish this off by hand. Finish torquing in my hand, that is. Alright. And then you will want to use some thread lock on the servo horn, just because, if you're using a metal geared servo, which is all but required on this truck, you wouldn't want to use a plastic geared servo. That will strip quite quickly, even with a servo saver. Just the type of beating these trucks take, or can take, depending on how you drive them. All right, so get some thread lock on this screw for the servo horn. Actually, we should turn on the electronics first to center the servo. Why am I getting caught up on something here? Here we go. All right, we've got our mini test battery here just to fire things up. Get the transmitter. All right, always turn on your transmitter first. Oh, didn't plug in the receiver. Oh, that was dangerous too. I've got the wires right here by the motor. Need to plug in the servo. Oh, there's some wear on the wire there. Yeah, it looks like it was probably eaten up and then resoldered. All part of buying a used RC. You've got to really give things the thorough once over. Make sure that these wires are out of the way of the pinion and spur gear here. I'll clean up things once I finalize the wiring here. Okay, servo's good. Motor's good. We're good. Servo is centered. Actually, I'm going to make sure that it wasn't centered before. Okay, it's in neutral. Cut the power. And finish mounting up that servo horn. And we are just about out of time. We've got to hit the track. So getting down to the wire here. All right. I'm going to grab this screw for the servo and just put some thread lock on there. I'm going to center up the steering or the wheels, attach the steering servo. I should have done this first before putting on the thread lock. Just get those teeth to line up. Come on. Put that gently to the side here. I'm going to have to actually loosen the set screw. We're using a Techno servo horn here. Put some thread lock on this too. While we're at it. Okay. Alright, just loosen up the servo horn. There we go. And we can put this either screw in first, doesn't really matter. We already got thread lock on this, so we'll put the top screw in first. Wait until we snug that up. I'm going to put this guy in the small. Oh. That's a really small screw you don't want to lose. It's the beauty of working on one of these pit mats. It catches everything. Alright, super small dab of thread lock on there. Alright, so yeah, these Techno servo horns are pretty nice because they allow you to clamp down on that servo output arm in two directions. Alright, it's tightening around that gear, that output gear, and then you can also clamp it down from the top like a standard servo mount or servo horn. All right, and we are good to go. Just double check that. I'll cut a short piece of, maybe put some servo tape just to get these wires safely out of the way. Wondering how I should do this. I'll route it like this. All right, there we go. We are good to go. So thanks again for watching. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, and we're off to the track. We'll see you there. Thanks again for watching.